The truth is, sometimes we get comfortable with the ordinary, sitting inside the lines others have drawn for us, when there is an entire blank canvas of a world waiting for us to trust fall into solutions to questions not even asked yet, to rise, revise, and recognize that remarkable is not only possible, but it is necessary. It is the result of daring to imagine beyond this partition of parameters, always onwards, upwards, and forwards, towards the whys of ideas redefined, the what-ifs of partnerships, the how can we improve this. This is more than a common belief that in order to succeed, we must always see details 3 steps ahead. This is not about spotting market trends or hopping on bandwagons, because many others have been there, and quite frankly, so have we. But we are also about people. Shorooq, the right fit in the right place, like perfectly timed happenings matching skills with partners already found, where the sum of parts can create platforms only teamwork lets you reach. No, not you, us. Plural, collective. A home field advantage, expertise meeting the opportunity of what we did, are doing, and will do. Investing in holding open doors wide enough for impact to walk through. So we continue being the outlier, the deviation, the above and beyond expectation, the ones uncomfortable with being ordinary. Today is the day. Join Shorooq Partners.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this series of Founders Crushing It. We are live on Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Shorooq Partners. So if you are one of those who love the entrepreneurship scene, love our startups and our investments, and want to get to know some of our founders and just learn from this wonderful community, follow us on all our social media platforms, and feel free throughout this series every Wednesday, 7 p.m., to ask your fellow founders and to ask the founders that we have the honor to interview all your questions by just commenting on the comments section below. So today, it is our honor to actually start this weekly series with Sarwa. It's a finance management app that they will actually get to tell you a lot more about as we go along. You will see now a ticker at the bottom of the screen. Please just remember that all your questions are welcomed. Write them at the comments down below, and then we'll make sure to get them answered by some of our founders. So without further ado, let me introduce, first of all, Mark Chahwan. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Tarek. Thanks for hosting.
Thank you. And then obviously, adding to Mark is Nadine Mezher. Thank you so much for joining us as well, Nadine.
Hi, Tarek. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. And obviously, the Do You won't be complete without Jad. Jad, thank you so much as well for joining us.
Thanks for having us, man. Good to be here.
Amazing, amazing. Well, just before going live, we were, Mark said something very exciting, and he said, it never crossed his mind that you guys, all 3 of you, joined one live session together. So I'm happy to be the cause for bringing you all into one platform. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Yeah. So maybe to start with, I would love if you, Mark, could potentially start off with just introducing yourself to everyone.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Mark, co-founder and CEO of Sarwa. And prior to Sarwa, I was in consulting at Accenture, focusing on banking and wealth management, and was in the industry as well, and studied finance at McGill University. Sarwa is I would say, the first startup I co-found with Jar and Nadine, and it's been 4 years in the making now, focusing on helping people save, trade, invest, and with crypto as well as one of our new expansions this year.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mark. Nadine, what would you say? Please introduce yourself and maybe say a few words about working with Mark. I think your connection is breaking up, Nadine. Yeah, I think you're breaking up a little bit there. Maybe until we fix Nadine's connection, maybe add you, Jad. Jad, could you just introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure thing. So I'm Jad Sayegh. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Sarwa. I've always had a background in software and finance. That's been basically my whole career. And then basically we decided to start Sarwa with that in mind, and with the Middle East as kind of, being our homeland. We wanted to kind of build something there. And each for their own reasons, I guess, we ended up converging on this idea, and voila, stroke of fate, ended up building it with two very good friends of mine, Nadine and Mark. And I'll let Nadine comment on working with us when she gets back.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe let's try Nadine again here. Nadine, are you back? That's yeah. Yeah, we're still breaking up with Nadine here, but maybe with you back, Jad. I would love to know from you. Just tell us more about Sarwa, right? You guys have made amazing news over the past few months, and lately with the trade launching the trade platform. So probably give us your 2 cents on Sarwa and what is Sarwa.
Sure, Tariq. So basically, Sarwa is the MENA region's premier investment and personal finance app. We started it with basically one rough vision in mind, which just became more and more concrete as the years passed, which was just making sure people in the region could secure their financial futures, right? So initially that started off with what we call today Sarwa Invest, which is passive investing, long-term investing. And very recently, last week, we launched commission-free active investing, so people being able to trade actively, all with basically the same philosophy in mind, which is to make investing, personal finance, and the ability to basically plan for your financial future more simple, more accessible, and more affordable. Those have always been kind of 3 words that we always repeat internally and externally. We try to live by them, and we try to build our product and our team and our services basically around them. So hope that gives a good idea of what Sarwa is and our vision.
Love it. Mark, what would you add on to what Jad just said?
Yeah, I would add it's we often hear of the word like pivot as founders, and it's a buzzword that's thrown a lot. I was very convinced that this term wouldn't really apply to us, as we've had a lot of success given our focus at Sarwa. So the launch of Sarwa Trade isn't something I would have really predicted, but it was a really cool lesson for us to stay close to the market, understand when the market is shifting from a pure passive investing to a mix of active investing and passive investing, and have like the day zero mindset or day one mindset to completely launch something new, and understand that even in the span of a year, customer expectations can shift where they don't just want you to do it for them, but they want to also to take the steering wheel and place their own bets. So yeah, that was a really cool lesson and just some additional color on why we're doing this, because we found that people get it now. They know the importance of diversifying, investing in stocks. There's so many success stories, but I think the conclusion was that it's not one or the other, it's both. And passive investing works, but it could be a bit too boring or a bit too dull as a strategy that needs to be complemented with a bit of speculation, a bit of stock picking. So that's the platform that now we've been able to, as of last week.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I can tell you, I'm a customer of Sarwa, right? And I've used as you said, the passive investing side for a while, but you always would want to kind of invest into stocks that you kind of have an own story, a conviction behind. And I think with you guys launching the trade, I was quickly one of the first ones to kind of sign up. Yes, sign me for this. So well done on this. I would like to maybe as Nadine comes on, wanna just test on Nadine. Nadine, can you hear us? How's the connection now? Yeah, we aren't lucky with Nadine today.
It was working so well. It's a shame.
I jinxed it. I said, all three of you guys together. now it's only two. It's my fault. It's my fault. Well, so Mark, as we get Nadine back, just wanted to ask you, introducing something like Sarwa in this market definitely wasn't something easy, right? And to go through all the hurdles of regulations and to educate the market, even passive investing needed education, right? There's certainly a lot of things that you've had to go through. I would love, for the benefit of everyone, to understand the different challenges beyond our own imagination, right? That you had to overcome, and the hurdles that you had to overcome, and maybe still overcoming, right? And how maybe the community around us, or the ecosystem around us, can actually support on overcoming some of these challenges.
Mm-hmm. I would say the first challenge when setting up was maybe having unclear answers on what needs to be built, or having conflicting answers. So, for example, when we moved, there wasn't really a framework for us to open accounts online. The capital requirement to do what we were doing was very high. So it was something completely new. We pioneered, for example, opening an account with a selfie. That wasn't something that was there, and there wasn't really policy or laws that allow for something like that. So that's the first challenge, where especially when you're a foreigner coming to Dubai and you're more in learning mode, you have to switch between just taking in how things are done here, but also challenging them as well. So that's a bit of a challenge where, as a founder, it worked out well because we were 25 at the time. We were very naive and just challenging a lot of how certain things were done. So yeah, I would encourage founders to, whenever they see a certain regulation, use that as an opportunity to talk to the regulators, because their appetite is actually quite high to change things, and they want to innovate just as much as the founders. Once they trust you, once they like you and understand and can get behind what you want to build.
I love that. Usually founders, most founders are, meant to kind of go out there and break things, right? And with that mentality, you expect founders to kind of go against the status quo, go against what the current regulations are, and to kind of break things. And I think in a sense it is, but you need to be able to to break things together, right? So don't play alone. I think the main takeaway here is that you need to learn how to co-create rather than just create alone. And I do expect you guys are still co-creating as you kind of disrupt this financial market.
Yeah, agreed. Especially in fintech, where to work with to have a bank account, you need a license. To have a brokerage partnership, you need the right regulatory license. So there's a lot of things that are related, and yeah, you definitely need strong relationships with them. Like for us to be able to add Sarwa Trade, to add a 5% exposure to Bitcoin, all of these weren't necessary. They were a lot more phone calls and discussions rather than every time starting from scratch. So to move that quickly, it was mainly based on our relationships with the regulator. So if we had pissed them off or rubbed them the wrong way, it wouldn't have. We could have gotten one license, but to continue adding to it would have been difficult.
Got it. Nadine, as we have you back now, I would love for you, first of all, and actually, let me add Jad here. Let's take a selfie, right? Just so then we don't jinx it. We don't. Exactly right. So maybe Nadine, if you can just introduce yourself quickly as well. And maybe just add on top of what Mark has said about the different challenges that you're facing, specifically as well on the education part, right? Was that market ready when Sarwa was there? And what have you guys done to kind of get things started?
It's a very good question. So just to introduce myself and let me know if you stop hearing me, but my background is in marketing and growth strategy. I've been in the UAE for 14 years. And I've worked across, industries, across geography, worked in Italy, France, Beirut, and Dubai. So it's always, it's fascinating to me because it's the same strategy, more or less. It's understanding the customer journey and how you can get them to where you want them to be. So in terms of education, it's definitely, it required a lot because even though the market was very ready, there was a lot of questions on what is the industry that we operate within. So at the time, when we started Sarwa, it was robo advisory, so the term itself was super new. Financial technology was very new. If you look into even online, if you look into keywords such as investing, trading, and so on, the volumes were very, very low. So all of these required a lot of education from the ecosystem to make people understand on different layers. First, understand the importance of building wealth through investing, and also how you can trust new technology. So we definitely saw a big change in consumer behavior recently, and things are moving really, really fast. So it's very exciting.
It is. And on that front, I think, would you say the appetite, and you covered that appetite from the consumer perspective, and what would you say about the appetite of the investment landscape, right, for companies like Sarwa, and maybe kind of shed light on how was your kind of fundraising side of things, and fundraising experience, right? And how your progress or traction helped you in that?
So I would say it depends on the stage of growth you're at and what round you're actually looking to get investors on board. Mark can definitely speak much more on that. But I would say, initially, if you're launching a new business, it's a lot of reaching out to people that know you, that know the co-founders, that know the team, the capabilities, and where you want to take it. So it's immediate network, and the community around you. I know from the get-go, we've had Shorooq, investing in us, and that's a bit unusual, for a startup that at that stage, when you have a business plan and an idea, to have a VC on board, but they knew the team and they knew the capacities. And then beyond that, it becomes a lot of building these relationships and updating investors and making sure they know about the progress, where you want to take the company, the vision. There's a lot of different factors that go into that, including what in the industry they would call the factor X, but just understanding how the team works together, what the team is all about is extremely important. But I'll let Mark also add, because he's been also looking after that part.
Yeah, I would say good advice for the first round to state your network, friends and family. If by luck you can have a VC that helps you early on but acts as an angel, I think that's a big bonus. But so far, I think we're all seeing the funding news on Magnet and the amount of hype or activity in the sector. So I would say it was a very smooth Series B for us. So it was it was very smooth. It was led by Mubadala and also with a large participation by 500 startups and our existing investors as well. So I would say it gets easier. It gets easier once you have a brand, once you have unit economics, once you have data to not just sell the story, but show success or many successes and challenges to present them with data rather than purely on the potential of the business.
A question that comes to my mind is, you brought in traction, you brought in data, right? You brought in, being the right product, the right market at the right time. But a question that I think many don't necessarily get to see is, how do you guys as three, right, gel together? How do you work together? What are the different challenges that you kind of face, right? And feel free to have fun answering that question.
Who wants to start?
I mean, look, honestly, I think this agreement between co-founders is extremely important. And what we got really right is how we actually have good conflict, and we actually discuss and get to a point where we trust each other's expertise. I think it's just about understanding that when you have co-founders that balance each other, you want each of them to bring that to the table and make sure that you trust their capabilities. And in the beginning, to be honest, like a lot of relationships, it was a lot of learnings and compromise and meeting in the middle. But I think now down the line, it's a beautiful relationship, and that's really at the core of the success and goes beyond the co-founders. It goes and cascades down to everyone in the team.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, Nadine. The two I'd say big things that really kind of underpin everything, right? Which is the first one is complementarity. Finding people with whom you're not sort of a total overlap of personality and skill, and but instead, no, you can each kind of carve up pieces of responsibility and be able to lean on each other. I think that's a big part. And the second one, which allows and enables the first part, is the trust aspect. And that's, we're lucky in that we had something going in, right? We weren't total strangers to each other going in, which was a big part of it. But also, trust kind of gets built with time, and also with just having those shared values, right? When you have a team with shared values, and we sort of realized that when we sat down at one point, I think this was in year 2 of the company or year 3, and we were like, what are the values of this company really? And we realized that we were completely in sync. And these weren't values that we had just acquired while doing the company. It was values that we came into it with. So when you have that, I guess when you're on the same wavelength on those kind of fundamental things, then you have trust, just built very naturally and organically. And that allows for complementarity, because I know Mark is doing his best. I don't need to check in on him all the time. I know Nadine's doing her best. She knows I'm doing my best. And then basically we can trust each other's competence and our, it really is fundamental. And then everything gets built on that, I'd say.
I love Mark's silence, right? It's like he's waiting to know the answers. Mark, what would you say about what just Nadine and Jad said?
No, I think it's spot on. Maybe I can add also being a support system as well for each other.
Yeah,
That's in the role description. There are
Yeah,
some tough days. There are some highs, some lows, and it's
definitely.
not just what we see and in the press release with the same picture smiling. Yeah, but no, I think they said it all throughout
I
all the
love it.
points.
I love
Definitely.
it. So a few questions from me, maybe last two, and before I finish off with those two questions, I want to remind the audience, right, to put their questions into the comments section, right? If you want to ask Mark, Nadine, Jed, anything whatsoever, or even Shorooq Partners, feel free to kind of write your questions in the comments below, and we'll probably definitely look into them. So, two questions for me. One is, what is future like for Sarwa? If you are to, say what is the big next move for Sarwa, without spilling any beans here, what would it be? What are you going to focus on in the next 12 months?
Yeah, I'm happy to start. So our focus right now is rebundling many financial products as our main strategy. We've seen that when we've asked our customers, when we did a product market fit survey, what would you like us to work on? The answer was very clear around more personalization, and their money was pretty much scattered between other companies like interactive brokers. So they were doing some parts with us, some parts with others, but they love the customer support, they love the platform and the pricing. So it's the current goal is just to bring that all into one place so that you can have a holistic view of your wealth and do your investing, trading, crypto, saving all in one place.
Great. So that's I mean, yeah, I think you summed it up really well there. Is like it's crypto investing, your own personal wealth management side of things, but also investing into stocks that you feel you've built conviction with right from the
Mhm.
beginning. My next question, and kind of this is one that I would kind of suggest that you guys think about before answering, is if you were to describe Sarwa in one word, right, what would that be? And I would love to start with you, Nadine.
Oh, it's Sarwa. Can I use our name?
I mean, expecting nothing less from the CMO.
So Sarwa in Arabic means wealth. And I think that really summarizes the core of what we're trying to do, is for everyone to be able to build for a better future and grow their wealth. So I would use our brand name.
I love it. I mean, Jad and Mark, Nadine has made it very difficult for you guys to nail more than that.
I'm
What
just gonna
about
cop
you,
out
Jad?
and say
What would you
Sarwa as
say?
well, man. I'm just gonna say Sarwa as well, man. Just gonna cop out on this one.
No topping up. What would be your second best?
I mean, it's hard to say. I would say, I always like the idea of financial security and financial future, right? I think it's always been like the mission aspect of the company. So for me, that's always been the main thing, like financial future of whether it's which services, how you're accessing them, who you're reaching. It's always been kind of just taking that forward. So that's what I'd say. It's two words, but better than copying out, I guess.
I feel generous today, so I'm gonna give you the two words. Great stuff, Mark. What would you say the one word that you would like to describe Sarwa with?
I'm gonna use a sentence. So peace. I would use peace of mind as a theme to add to what Nadine and Jad said. With one thing I really love about our company or our product is knowing, similar to how Jad was saying, where you're taking care of your future. But I would say one thing that resonates a lot is I don't need to worry about hidden fees or getting ripped off or making the wrong decision. There's only one decision to make. which is to start today. So that would be, yeah, that would be the word I would pick today.
Love it, love it. Well, guys, I mean, time flies with you. I was thinking 20 minutes we'll wrap up. We're already into 30 minutes, but we have just a few comments to go through, right? And then we'll finish it off. But thank you so much, guys, for being amazing there. So just to kind of remind the audience again, this is the part where we get, all your questions and answers kind of asked. So feel free to jot some down in the comment section. Just remember as well to follow us on all our social media platforms, and please as well kind of remember this is Founders Crushin' It, which is a live stream, happens every Wednesday at 7 p.m. GST time, right? So without further ado, we have a question here from Tariq Bilani, right? He's asking, and guys, Tariq Bilani is our legal counsel at Shorooq Partners. How amazing. I love how this team functions, right? They're there. So he is asking, a lot of startups enjoy the challenge of disrupting the legacy companies. How do you handle the challenge from other startups as the first mover incumbent? Who would like to kind of take a chance at answering that one?
I mean, I'd say just as a quick one, we've always kind of had the idea of just focusing on your vision. Like competition is basically a reality in any business. So, but focus on the vision. That's always been kind of our idea and our motto. Focus on doing what you feel like you do best, and you do best. And you end up differentiating just by virtue of that. There's plenty of innovation out there to be done. There's plenty of uncharted paths. We're lucky to have that. So just following your vision. I'd say that's always been our way to handle it.
Yeah,
I love it. Thank you so much, Jed. Mark, you wanted to add something there.
Yeah, I would say the answer is in the question. Like, the legacy companies, for example, for us, I'll take Interactive Brokers as a more than $60 billion business remains. We're still focused on the big picture as well, on what platform people have been using for a long time, and that market share. And we like to follow also like Peter Thiel's view from 0 to 1. I think if you're not familiar with it, he provides a very comforting and good framework for competition, which is to create your own lane. And he says that he just said competition's for losers, and to break out of it, as opposed to try to compete on price or on features, and really craft your own path. So that really shaped our thinking on not just competing on this portfolio or that feature, but to become and rebundle financial products. We're sort of competing with everyone in some way, but at the same time creating something very unique.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much, Tariq Bilani, for asking this beautiful question. And there isn't a better way to end our very short live stream together with that, with a great comment from Shashank. He said, shout out to Rockstar founders, to the best trio out there, right? So really, we appreciate your time with us today. It was really shorter than what I expected. I had a lot of fun, and hope you guys had too. And we really appreciate your hard work from the bottom of our heart. We thank you all for the amazing work that you continue doing into the ecosystem and into the financial sector. We look forward to obviously working very closely with you guys. So thank you for joining us and being our first ever Founders Crushin' It series.
We love it.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, for everyone, thank you. For everyone that is out there, really want to thank you all for your hard work. Thank you so much for tuning in to Founders Crushing It. This will happen every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So please put a reminder. Remember to follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube channel. That's at Shorooq Partners. For all the founders that are out there looking for partners, feel free to connect with us at deals@shorooq.ae. So if you're an A+ founder with a great product, great team, looking to scale and looking for an investment company to back you up, feel free to reach out to us at deals@shorooq.ae. Without further ado, from Shorooq Partners, myself, Tariq Fouad, wish you all a great night and a great Wednesday. Thank you so much. Happy day.